So when it comes to Warhammer 40,000, I'm always going to be a huge fan of collecting the models, painting the models up. I love Space Marines, as you all know, so that's never going to change. Even though at this moment in time, 9th edition as a game is just not a fun environment to me, I've always enjoyed the lore. If anything, the lore is the main thing in Warhammer, both 30k and 40k, which keeps me coming back, which keeps me excited. These stories of these epic characters, these heroes, these events that happen that affects different races, different beings, different empires. It's something that I absolutely love about this IP. And the really exciting thing is when 8th edition dropped, we had this epic story change where the galaxy was split in half, Abaddon, Chaos, they were flooding out, the Tyranids got stronger, the Orcs got stronger, the Imperium itself, you could argue, got weaker but also stronger in certain areas with a Primarch coming back, the Primaris Marines new technology by Belisarius Call, but again, as I said, like the Empire split in twain. It was an exciting time. And I now think we're in 9th edition and the story has become kind of stagnant again, when really, if you look at it, it shouldn't be like this at all. Now, that's not to say we haven't had good stories. I've personally loved the Plague Ward series with Mortarion and Guilliman and everything that happened around that. One of the things I've really been let down with in 9th edition is the Necron storyline. When they launched 9th edition and the so-called Indomitus box set and everything that went along with that, they brought the Silent King back. I cannot tell you how important that being is. I'm actually only just getting into Necron lore and the actual Necrons themselves, the way they view the Silent King and just what that being is, what he brings. He's just so powerful. It's kind of like the Emperor coming back to life, you know, and leading his people once more. And we haven't heard anything from the Necrons at all. I'm wondering if 9th edition is kind of like the bridge to the next point in the 40k story. There's so many exciting things where we could go to. For example, this is just off the top of my head. I actually discussed this with a friend a couple of weeks ago. So if you've been reading the Dawn of Fire series, it's hinted that the Star Child theory may be possible. The Senshai, I think they're pronounced. That could be an absolutely amazing story. I'm not saying bring the Emperor back at all, because I kind of think that would be broken. But we are seeing more of the Emperor's consciousness, let's say, being involved in some of the later stories involving Rebute and the actual faith itself being an actual power being used by the Imperium to combat chaos, which again I think is fantastic. You have stuff like Valdor. Valdor's still out there. You got Leman Russ out there. The whole Tree of Life ring. Fulgrim. I definitely think Fulgrim's going to come back in 10th edition, and I think there's going to be a whole story around that. But when you have Fulgrim, you also have Clone Fulgrim as well, which is another point, which is just, like, we can dedicate an entire video to Fulgrim versus Clone Grim, and we know that he's in Trajan's collection. Trajan owns that clone, but imagine if that clone was let loose, and then you have this good Fulgrim and you have this bad Fulgrim, and the way it would, like, kick up so much dirt, because Fulgrim was technically the person that I've always said put the Imperium where it is today, because Fulgrim put Rebute in his status because he sliced his throat in that battle, and because the Imperium never had that type of leadership, it fell into what we have now, the ruin, the dictatorship, the utter, you know, religious zealots just purging everything, the Inquisition doing what the hell they want. Again, I could do a bloody full video about that. Lorgar's left his planet. Lorgar has left his planet. So Lorgar's come out of his 10,000 year meditation. How amazing would it be if Lorgar came back and looked upon the Imperium? This religious Imperium, which technically he actually started. It would be amazing. Pert Trabo's out there as well. I've been saying this for so long. People are like, Pert Trabo's going to come, Valrak. Let him come, right? Let him come so I can blow him off the tabletop. Wait, that sounded wrong. Alfarius is out there. He's working with Eisenhorn. Again, sorry, that may be a spoiler for some of the books. You've got notes like the Harad and the Rangdan are gaining power again. There's secret whispers that these two enemies are building their empire again. The Ragdan, or the Rangdan, I can never pronounce their bloody name. That is a mind-blowing story if they actually took it to the places where they could take it. If you don't know the basic lore of it, they nearly wiped out the Dark Angels back in the day when they were led by the Lion. Like, they were on the cusp of wiping out that legion, and we know what the Dark Angels had and all their weapons and all their weird stuff that the Emperor gave them. So this is an empire that is very, very, very scary. And imagine then coming back into the fold in the 40k story. It would be amazing. And then adding to that the races that we already have in the game and the new races that are about to be added. For example, the Votan, aka the Squats, they're coming back. It's going to be very, very interesting to see their lore, how they act with the Imperium, how the Imperium start to view them again, because they have some juicy technology. And you know what the Imperium's like, the Mechanicus is like, they want to get their hands on stuff which could maybe help them out and make their empire bigger and better. You've got the Tau who are expanding. You've got the Eldar doing Eldar stuff, Dark Eldar doing what they're doing. The Tyranids, I keep saying this, the Tyranids for me are the biggest threat to the galaxy, but with too much infighting with each other to see the upcoming shadow that's about to engulf us all. So hopefully we get some more epic stories, more epic tales of them. The Orcs, oh my holy Emperor, Ghazghkull has gathered to him an army worthy of Mordor, right? He is the biggest and the bestest Orc around, and if all the Orcs unite under his banner, we are absolutely screwed. I still think like the Tyranids would beat the Orcs because, of course, it's just free real estate. It's like biomass. It's like, nom, 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 nom. You know, they die and they make more biomass, which is something that the Tyranids would absolutely love. You've got all these epic tales, and I just wish that we would see it more brought to life just in books, in more books. These Warzone books, again, right, the tabletop is definitely separate to the lore. I've always said this because the tabletop has to be balanced so people can have fun with different armies. Of course, if you take like a Space Marine army versus an Imperial Guard army, 9 times out of 10, that Space Marine force is just going to obliterate that Guard army. But you can't have that on the tabletop because that would wreck the game balance, of course. But, you know, when there's stories and it comes to like war zones and stuff like that, I'd wish they'd give us these exciting, these epic tales where they can show off just how grim, how bloody, how exciting the narrative can be in Warhammer 40,000. Like I said at the start of the video, I feel like it's gone a bit stagnant. It's slowed down a little bit. Maybe, like I just said, it's just that bridge to 10th edition to launch that next big story. As an Imperial player, I've always said this, I'll keep saying it, I'm going to make more videos in it. I want that to be a revolving around the Primarch returning, another Loyalist Primarch, the Lion, Leman Russ. I think if you have that, it's going to set off some absolute fireworks in terms of the reactions from the Imperial side, from the Chaos side. I'm sure you Orc players want to see more Ghazghkull. You Tyranid players want to see more of your nom-nomming, you know, the Eldar, certain characters for you. Actually, Eldar, Dark Eldar characters, what would you like to see for your stories? Because I'm not really up to date with your race. Is there anything big that should be happening for your story, which you'd like to see, which you'd like to, to develop and turn into something absolutely, amazing? As I mentioned with the Necrons, a Silent King, where the hell is the Silent King? He's returned back and nothing's happened. I've just finished the Infinite and Divine book, and I have to say, I am actually a massive fan of the Necrons now. It's just, wow, what an absolute story that was. And hopefully we get a sequel to that book or something, as I don't know about that, because it's fantastic. So, yeah, hopefully we get some more Necron stuff and they have a bigger part to play, because I feel like they've been dealt like the undercard. They got all these new cool models and everything like that, and the story has just fell flat right on its face. Anyway, Chaperonios, that's enough waffling for me as always. I don't really know what this video even is. It's just me just wanting to be excited again, playing in the environment I'm playing in. Of course I'm excited. I love Space Marines, but I want to feel more involved. I want to feel the epicness of Warhammer 40,000. You've did it, Horus. You are the Warhammer 40,000. This is what I want to feel when I come to throw some dice and just read books and, read the lore and the codexes and everything like that. If anyone's got any thoughts, feedback, anything about stories, potential stories, where they could go with the current storyline, with the Great Rift or anything like that, post it down below. I love to read theories and everything cool like that. So please share it, and I will definitely give it a read. Thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, as always. Have a great day, and bye-bye.